All right, hello everybody. We're going to take a look at trying to change this default texture. I've had a few people ask me to do a video like this, so it's going to pretty much just be pretty specific to this. Should only take a few minutes at most too. So in your project, the default texture here used to be like a dirt texture. Not many people kept it. Not many people actually used it, to the best of my knowledge. I'm not sure why they went to this grid, or if this was an error or a mistake. I'm not sure, but nonetheless, let's see what we can do to kind of change what this texture is. So most people are going to probably already have a list of textures in this section here, and it just you can't override it with one that's already in this list, to the best of my knowledge, because that texture is already in here. Because when I've tried doing that, so for example, if we go to try and use this texture here, it didn't work. It already exists in the, I'll show you the error log here, already exists in the terrain material set. All right. So what we can do, choose whatever texture you want to use as the default texture. So let's just say we want it to be this new Dirt 03, right? Make sure we're using the right ones. So it would be in ARMA Reforger terrains, and then this one here. So even if you already have this in your list, here's how you're going to be able to do it. So right click on the Dirt 03, go to duplicate to, and you're going to duplicate it to your project. And then name it. Doesn't have to name it whatever you want, but I'm going to name it Dirt 03 underscore default, so I know I'm going to use that for the default. So right click on default, change surface layers material, Dirt default, and there we go. And you can do that with any of them. You can do that with, let's just say you want to use Dirt 01. So do Dirt 01. And then go to Reforger, terrains, duplicate this. And you can change this to Dirt 01 default. If you like Dirt 01 this Dirt 01 a little better. All right. Now, depending on what texture you want to use, you may also want to go in and change its sat map blend. So, I did that pretty quick. Let me go a little slower. So, with the texture here, you're going to go and open it up and type in sat into the search bar up here, and then turn these down. Go and save, Control S, save. And then notice it's going to look a little different here. So this texture is not going to blend into the sat map. So notice how it's not trying to pull this sat data into its texture. Now, keep in mind that's not proper, okay? You do want your textures to blend with the sat map, but that'll happen later on when you get an official properly made sat map done. There is a tool out there that Till made that makes a sat map based on your ground textures. So it takes all this texture data that you've painted and it pulls and makes a satellite map based upon that data. It's really cool, real nifty. So the other option you have, all right, so there's something else I wanted to show you. There's a option in your terrain entity here. If you scroll down to middle distance max, it'll change how far out your camera is before it starts to not show you what you've painted. So then that makes it to where you have to get closer to actually see the terrain, and it'll change how much it's blended in to where you're going to see mostly your sat map, or you're going to see mostly your terrain paint. So depending on what you're trying to do, like for me, this isn't a world I work on right now. In my Highway 80 map, or the Highway 80 map I'm working on, it's if I'm laying roads out and I want to follow the path of the road, I want to see mostly the sat map, because I want to be able to follow those lines. If I'm doing work in the city and I'm sculpting, I'm doing some texture painting, stuff like that, I will typically make it a little bit higher so I can actually see what I'm doing properly. So just an extra tip in there for you. All right, so yeah, that is how you can change this default texture. Again, you can change it to whatever of these textures you want. If you already have it in this list, and even if you don't, I would recommend duplicating the one you want to use to be a default version. So that way, in case you want to use a regular texture later on, you still have that option. So thanks for checking it out. Hope this helped you guys out, and have a good rest of your day.